right, everyone. Sundays on the Gridiron. We are ready. Week 1 preview. Jake, Michael, Jordan back at it again. Guys, how we feeling? It's Thursday. We got first game tonight, Eagles and Cowboys.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling
great.
Feeling like this is going to be, besides the Lions, obviously, I think there's going to be a lot of turnover this year. I think this is the year we see the Chiefs go down. I don't think the Eagles repeat. I think the Eagles lose tonight too. I know that we're probably going to discuss who we think wins, but
all right,
feels like we're back.
We are back.
We're back.
Gamble. Get some parlays going. Same game parlays.
I think I sent y'all like 3 or 4.
Yeah. No, I mean it feels like we're back.
Yeah. So we'll get into it. For the last podcast, our major news we were talking about was, would Micah Parsons be traded? And the next morning, he got traded to Green Bay. Michael, that impacts you the worst with the Lions in week 1 because everything I've seen says he's supposed to play this week. How you feeling about that?
I mean, obviously worried. It sucks to have that guy in the division, especially lined up on the opposite end of Rashawn Gary. But I think people are a little harsh on the trade. People obviously don't know who Kenny Clark is, but he's the tackle for the defensive tackle for the Cowboys. That now the Cowboys that was for Green Bay. I think that middle is pretty soft now. That's the only kind of silver lining I took out of this was they got good edge rushers, but they have a terrible secondary, and now they don't have, in my opinion, one of the better defensive tackles in the league. So, I mean, they're going to be getting after the quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's as dominant as people are making it out to seem.
Yeah, and we get Parsons and Cowboys basically they get their split like they want, and it seems like everyone's kind of happy with it.
Yeah.
Long term, we'll see how it works out and what those picks turn into for Dallas and whatnot. So, the other thing we talked about, and Jake, I remember you saying a few weeks ago, like the Raiders wide receiver room was like 2 rookies, a dude who just your best dude requested a trade, and then like your franchise legend wide receiver, whatever, I don't remember. Well, that dude just retired this morning out of nowhere. So now you've got 2 wide receiver rookies over there in Vegas that are going to have to step up. What are you thinking about that?
It's crazy. I mean, it blows my mind that that's what they were rolling into. I guess I'm not entirely surprised that Amari Cooper retired. It would really concern me if I was a Raiders fan thinking that Jacoby Myers, which I mean that has just gone under the rug. Apparently, he doesn't want to anymore. Or no, the Raiders.
I saw a video where he was like, I wanted it, I requested it. They said no. We're here. We're playing.
Got it.
He's like, yeah, I asked for it. It didn't happen. Cool.
And some people can get away with that. Jerry Jones apparently cannot. He tried. It's what it seemed like, and it didn't work. So yeah, I think it just means that those wide receivers are going to have to step up. The rookies, that is. I really like Trey Tucker. He's a very far depth piece from a fantasy perspective. But I do like Trey Tucker. It seems everyone in the fantasy community is saying that this all benefits Dante Thornton Jr. out of Tennessee, which could be the case. I believe they maybe have listed him now as a starter on the depth chart.
Yeah.
I mean, out of availability, he's got to be a starter at this point, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if I'm putting all that much stock into it. I know that he was one of those combine freaks, like just between his combine and his pro day, shot up a bunch of draft boards just from his measurements. But I mean, his collegiate production compared to the other rookie that they drafted in Jack Besh is nowhere close. So I don't understand why Jack Besh has kind of seemed to disappear in this conversation. Maybe they maybe what people are seeing is that Dante Thornton is the favorite there, but I mean, Jack Besh has got some of the most reliable hands out of this past draft. and was well the darling of like Senior Bowls and stuff like that before Dante Thornton. Like Jack Bech was everywhere. So I think it's interesting that everyone seemed to default to Dante Thornton as the biggest benefactor of the weak Raiders wide receiver room. But again, I'll reiterate, I don't think it matters because they know they're going to throw to 89 and give it to Ashton Genty. So I think that's who has the biggest, the most to gain from that.
Yeah, it emphasized Brock Bowers a lot more in the passing game too. With
Oh yeah, yeah. Genty and Bowers will have to pick up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't even know Bech he was the TCU guy. I didn't even realize he was on the Raiders. So yeah, that's wild. People aren't mentioning that.
I know he had a monster year. I mean, he was one of the, probably a top 10 in all the receiving categories. He had a monster year for TCU.
He went in the second round.
Exactly.
They drafted Thornton in the fourth round. So
yeah, no, I mean, when you have a weak room like that, I mean, being the quarterback's best friend, I think is what gets you ahead, and that's Jack Bech, not Dante Thornton. He's still going to be a weapon, but in terms of just needing a catch, needing a couple yards, you go to Bech. But also you have Bowers that can do kind of all of it in that, in that aspect of the game, in the passing game. So they still got, they got one of the best receiving options in the NFL. I think that's fair to say, even if you have a weak wide receiver room.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for news, unless you guys got anything off the top of your head that popped up over the week. It's pretty calm. College football dominated for like 5 straight days. So over the long weekend, we'll go into our first pick'em of the season. We're going week 1. We'll start first with tonight's game. Cowboys at Eagles, NBC, 8:20 Eastern. Michael, you said you think that the Eagles are going to lose tonight. Tell me why.
I just think it's one of those games. I don't know. Honestly, and part of it is I bet on the Cowboys too, but I don't know. I just think it's one of those funky games where Eagles come out a little flat or, different personnel. I think Dak comes back strong. He missed out. Him and CD just kind of have a connection. I don't know. And Pickens obviously on the other side. I think the Cowboys just come out and just win, just edge out the Eagles just barely. Nothing significant. I don't think it points to anything later in the year. I'm not saying I picked the Cowboys to win the division, but I don't know. I just think it's one of those funky week 1 kind of games.
Yeah, that Thursday, first game of the season, Thursday, all the lights are on. Eagles probably be getting their Super Bowl rings and everything. Big celebration, maybe a big letdown. Jake, what do you think?
So my pick to win the game is definitely the Eagles. Kind of for that reason, all the hype around it in the link, banner going up. It's and for the most part they're the same team. I mean the offensive line is all healthy. That may be wrong. Is Landon Dickerson maybe hurt?
Lane Johnson might have looked that up, fact check that.
Well, either way, I think that the Pickens and CeeDee Lamb situation is going to be interesting. But I think how I would defend that personally, and this is kind of my philosophy for any defense that is going up against 2 pretty, really solid wide receivers, put your number 1 corner on the second guy and then bracket them better. So like if I'm the Eagles, I'm putting Quinyon Mitchell on George Pickens. And then I believe they announced today that it's kind of it's going to be a Dory Mitchell or a Dory Jackson at corner 2, but then you still got Cooper DeJean. So I think between those 2, you kind of get a nice little bracket, kind of shade somebody over there to CD's side. To me, I think that's it's kind of how you take care of both of those players. But then for the Cowboys, they still have Jake Ferguson, who I like. But the running game there is kind of the biggest issue. It's believe running back 1 is supposed to be Javonte Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not really sure if I'm buying that is going to be an improved running game. If I had to guess, given that it's week 1, they're probably going to play a little bit of everybody between him. They have Miles Sanders. They drafted Jaden Blue. So I would imagine we're going to see a lot of people run the ball for the Cowboys, and I just don't know how that's going to hold up against, in my opinion, the best defense in the league. So Cowboys, I would like the points. I do think 8.5 is a lot of points for week 1. So I would definitely take the Cowboys to cover, Eagles to win.
Let's go Eagles. I've got the Eagles, just for lack of a better perspective, just kind of what flip-flop inside both of what you all said. They're pretty much the same team. It looks like the O-line, the depth chart, no one's injured on that. I mean, Saquon was rushed for a lot of yards. Everyone's healthy. I think they'll get Hurts and A.J. Brown will get going a little bit quicker. Try and be an emphasis, getting a passing game going, So I'm going to take the Eagles just for that simple fact right there. I just think they're going to come out and kind of ball a little bit. I do think it's going to be a good game. I do think that spread is a big spread for an NFL game in general. So we'll see. Moving on tomorrow, Chiefs, Chargers in Brazil on YouTube. It's crazy. Jake, we'll start with you on this one. Is it the start of the downfall of the Chiefs? Are the Chargers going to bust out the gates or what?
Yeah, not the downfall. I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm not a fan of these Brazil games or these early overseas games. I'm not really, doesn't do anything for me. I can't imagine it does anything for LA or Kansas City fans either. I think it's such a silly decision by the NFL, and even worse that it's on YouTube. Can't understand any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, we're going to see a very interesting Chiefs team. Like we just got done talking about, Rashee Rice is still out. You're going to see, maybe some improvements by Pacheco. He missed a lot of last year, so it'd be nice to see what they can get out of him if he's going to, get a lot of those touches from the backfield. But I think that they're going to have a much stronger defense. It may not be a very pretty game at all. I'm sure I believe all those complaints are that those fields suck. And when you leave these NFL stadiums, when you leave the States. So I'm sure the field's going to be awful. I don't imagine it's going to be a lot of points. And when you don't score a lot against the Chiefs, they tend to just kind of squeak those out.
Yeah. And I think starting rookie running back for the Chargers too, I think Amari Hampton is going to be the starter tomorrow. I saw that earlier. Michael, what are your thoughts on that one? Because you were the one that said it's the start of the Chiefs' downfall. So
yeah, like Jake said, I think this will be an ugly game. A big part of it is obviously the Chiefs missing their wide receiver 1. I think they'll run with Pacheco a lot. Also, the fields are just wet down there. I think it's because they're soccer fields maybe or something. The grass is just different, holds water differently. But I just have a feeling about the Chargers this year. I think Harbaugh's starting to get his guys. I think it'll be his brand of football, hard-nosed, run the ball, dominate both lines of scrimmage. So, honestly, I have the Chargers in an ugly game edging this one out. And there's a little bias in there because I did draft Amari Hampton, and I'm starting him in my fantasy team. I kind of need him to punch some in at the goal line. But, yeah, I got a low-scoring game, like 16-13 Chargers, I think, edge this one out. They also have Kicker the kicker. I know the Chiefs have Harrison Butker, but I think it'll be a lot of field goals, field positioning battle. I just think Harbaugh just squeaks it out in an ugly game. His style of ball for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting his guys in. I mean, you're looking at the depth chart. I mean, McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, those pretty good guys to throw to. Justin Herbert's been good. They still got Joe Alt. It looks like they picked up Mekhi Becton this year. So offensive line looks to be a little bit more solidified, along with that defense, which was, hasn't been bad. So maybe they'll get it rolling. I've got the Chiefs. I mean, what a great way to have a division game in Brazil. That kind of like it could have major implications down a few months from now. Someone, one of these teams get hurt, one of the players get hurt, someone gets blown out, could mean a lot down in the playoff race. So that's
I am intrigued by that spread. Chiefs by 3 is it's very interesting. That seems like a trap. So that I don't know. That kind of makes my wheels turn a little bit. That seems like a trap. So yeah, that one I'll probably overthink. I'll have to revisit that one tomorrow for sure. Real quick backtrack to the Eagles and Cowboys game. I was trying to find this number that I believe I'd heard earlier today. But since 2000, heavy underdogs period have covered the spread 53% week 1. So that's why I think that 8.5 is a lot, and why I would take that just off that alone. It seems like a lot, period, for teams that I don't think are too farly mismatched. I don't know. I think Vegas is maybe putting a little too much weight on what the loss of Micah Parsons does to that defense. So, anyways, wanted to throw that number out. Yeah, almost 60% of underdogs week 1 have covered the spread. Something to think about.
I might need to go back and redo a parlay or two after that. So, makes me worry about that Bengals and Browns game. I think that's a 6-point spread. So there's our Thursday, Friday games. Moving on to Sunday, we got a big slate here. 1:00 games. We got about 8 of them. Bucks and Falcons. I'll start this one. I'm going Tampa Bay. I think Baker, Mike Evans. I think we'll see Emeka Ibuka do some good things with Chris Godwin still out in their run game. So I'm going with the Bucks. Let's see who wants to go first. I couldn't remember who I went first last time.
I'll take it. I think Falcons win this one, a close one. I think they actually split the series. Tampa Bay just finds ways to win, but I don't think they win this one. I think they rely on Bijan. Penix, I'm sure, will have it. As long as he doesn't have crazy turnovers, I think if he just delivers, gets the ball out to London, hopefully Kyle Pitts, because I fell for that again too. I reached for him and drafted him. But
you did very early.
Falcons take this one in the home stadium too.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm also on the Falcons. It's kind of been a trend with me recently. I love that offense. I think they're going to come out firing. I like Drake London to score, get involved early. I think Bijan's gonna have set an early tone of his potential offensive player of the year campaign, and then hopefully just you kind of see some leaps by the defense. Like I said, we talked a little bit about those rookies that they brought on in the secondary, how that's going to impact the team. And then, on the other side, it's going to be a close game, and that's looking at it. It's why it's a 1.5 point spread. But I can see why the Bucks would be favored. I'm excited to see Bucky Irving kind of man that backfield. I think he's going to be an interesting matchup across the board. But yeah, I would take the Falcons for sure.
Now they got just looking at that, the secondary, AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, Xavier Watts, and Mike Hughes. That's a pretty good secondary on that defense for Atlanta. So could cause some fits. We know Baker likes to throw the ball around. Next one, Bengals at Browns. I'll go Bengals. I got Bengals. It does worry me a little bit because we usually drop one to Cleveland either at home or on the road. Usually on the road, we struggle a little bit up there. I don't know why. And just trying to get out to a good start. At the end of the day, Obviously, I still think Bengals win. I think they'll cover, but I mean, Myles Garrett and that defense, Denzel Ward could potentially be a roadblock in week 1. Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I got the Bengals. I don't know if I'm particularly worried about the slow starts. I think that they've made their point. They've kind of beat that into the ground that they don't want to start slow anymore, and they just gotta have something from that defense. There shouldn't be a whole lot of excuses now that you re-sign Trey Hendrickson, and I'm still, as I've told you before, Jordan, I'm a huge Demetrius Knight fan that they just drafted. So I think him in the middle of that defense is going to be pretty impressive. I think he's going to be really good for that defense. And then I'm just not buying anything that the Browns are selling. I'm not moved by Joe Flacco QB1. I still like Jerry Jeudy, but it's just been so dysfunctional over there in Cleveland that I can't imagine they're going to come out very hot to start the year. Do we even know if Quinshon Judkins is playing? It's just a lot of question marks over there. Not enough answers.
No. Michael?
Yeah, I like the Bengals to roll in this one for sure. Get out to a hot start, kind of get rid of some of those demons that they've had the past couple of years of starting slow. So I like them, and I like them to cover too and touchdown. I'm not, like Jake said, it's Flacco in Cleveland again. I mean, we've seen it before. David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy. There's nothing over there that makes me think that they would, win.
Right, moving on. Dolphins at Colts. Michael, take the lead on that one.
I like the Colts in this one. I mean, Dolphins have been competitive for sure in this league. Part of me kind of forgets about Tyreek Hill being there because of the year he had last year. But I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a good game. It's in Indy. I think Daniel Jones surprises some people. I think he deals a little bit to Adonai Mitchell and Michael Pittman Jr. They also have, Jake, you're going to help me on this, the Penn State tight end they drafted.
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. I like Tyler Warren. He was just a ball player at Penn State. I mean, he just made plays. So I actually like their offense to be pretty good. And I have them definitely, beating the Dolphins at home.
Jake, what do you think?
So this, for me, would have been a very easy stink bowl of the week, but there is unfortunately one other on this schedule that has to be probably one of the worst matchups that we'll see all year. So this one just barely edges out to not be dubbed the full, complete stink bowl of the week. I still think that this is going to be a pretty rough game to watch. Two very inept organizations. I feel like they've come up a bunch, the Dolphins, in terms of sneakily disappointing. So like kind of the other end of what teams may surprise you. I think the Dolphins kind of keep coming up as a team that will sneakily disappoint everybody, which is why exactly I'm going to take them to win. I think they're going to just find a way to get a win and surprise some people and be like, oh, we're still here. Mike McDaniel is still good, even though he says a bunch of weird things at the podium. I think that this is perfectly set up for them to come out, get a nice win, and then gradually just disappoint all around. With that said, the Colts do have nice pieces. I do like their some of the additions that they made on defense. Travarius Ward, and who else did they from?
What position?
DB. Cam Bynum from the Vikings. They brought over both those guys to kind of help strengthen that secondary. So it should be good. We'll see. But I feel like this is just going to be some weird game that's going on that, one of those weird noon games that you're not going to pay hardly any attention to. And then you'll look up and the Dolphins will win and everyone will be clowning Daniel Jones on Twitter. That's usually how that's going to go. So, I got the Dolphins.
Just quick note on the Dolphins depth chart. There's a lot of red on here. Devon Achane is questionable. Tyreek Hill questionable. Darren Waller questionable. Their right guard James Daniel is questionable. Backup running back Jalen Wright is doubtful. Fourth string Alexander Mattinson on IR. So you might be running out Ollie Gordon for 90% of your snaps. And then they've also got 4 random other depth pieces on IR. So not a lot good going down there in the health, strength, and conditioning.
Jordan, you say all that, and they're only 1.5 point underdogs. The money line is even. It's a trap. They know something. You just listed off. You listed off like 4 starters that are injured, and yet they're only 1.5 point underdogs. Why is that?
Vegas hates Daniel Jones.
I was going to say Daniel Jones.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe this next one's the stink bowl of the week. Is it the Panthers at Jags? Jake, is that no? I'm wrong. Okay. I'm excited about this game a little bit. I think these are 2 teams that the more we've talked about it, they're young. Liam Cohen at Jacksonville, his offense, and I know it well enough from a couple seasons at Kentucky what it can do. Panthers, like you all were saying a few weeks ago, turned it on at the end of last season, meshing and gelling well. Michael, what do you think about this one?
I think this will be a really good game. This will be one I tune into, and that's probably the first time someone said that, and maybe ever, to a Panthers-Jags game. But like you said, as much as I don't want to say this, I like Liam Cohen. I like him as a coach. I've always been a Trevor Lawrence believer. I think maybe this is you can kind of turn it on. Obviously, you got Travis Hunter with the 2nd pick. They brought in Gabe Davis. Took him from us at the Lions. And then, Brian Thomas Jr., that rookie last year was electric. They still have Tank Bigsby and Trevor Etienne in the backfield. So I think this could be a dangerous offense. I'm not sure what they have on defense, to be frank with you. They have Josh Allen, right? I don't know anyone else.
Josh Allen, Arik Armstead, Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, Trayvon Walker. He's actually been steady. Yeah, former number 1 pick. But I like the Panthers, and I like where they were headed last year. Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, Bryce Young kind of coming along, Chuba Hubbard, wildly overrated running back. So if I had to pick, who's home?
Jags are at home.
3.5 point favorites.
I like the Jags. I just think Trevor Lawrence, I think he just barely more established than Bryce Young.
I could see. Yeah, you could say that confidently. More established, probably even a little bit more talented, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
a little bit.
Jake, flip it over to you. What are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously, AFC and NFC, these aren't 2 teams that play each other very often. But, yeah, Michael, like you said, these are 2 teams that if they played each other, you wouldn't ever be saying that you would be tuning in to see how this turned out, unless it was like, I don't know, maybe 2015. Yeah. So it's been at least a decade before you would say that you would tune into a Jaguars-Panthers game, and yet I will do the same. I think this is going to be a really fun matchup of 2 teams, and it's kind of the race of like who's going to turn the page the most. Is Trevor Lawrence going to really pan out? Is Bryce Young going to enter a monster year? Well, all these star rookies, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, all these guys we're naming, what are we going to get out of them? And we get to see it pretty early against, I would say really comparable teams, just different conferences, obviously. There's no real impact on how they progress throughout the year. But I'm pretty excited. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm just really high on the Panthers. I just really think that they're going to make some strides, and I think the Jags are a good team to show that against week 1 and kind of prove that offense has improved and hopefully flex some of the changes they made on the defense. So I'm taking the Panthers on the road.
I've also got the Panthers, and just looking at their skill guys on the offensive side: Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, and then old reliable Hunter Renfrow. that's pretty solid, giving Bryce Young a lot of options there on the outside. And I did just see, it looks like starting middle linebacker is Trevin Wallace from Kentucky. So that makes me feel a little bit good too. So over there on that Panthers defense. So I also have the Panthers. Next one, Raiders, who we talked about earlier. Offense is in shambles, maybe. At New England, Drake May, second season. The second season or third season? Second, and he's got Vrabel up there now. So, Jake, take the lead on that one.
Yeah, I'm going Patriots. I'm not like particularly moved by this game either. But this is a big road trip for Vegas, and this is all the way across the country. So, it's a really big road trip, and like I said, kind of dysfunctional things for Las Vegas, in my opinion, with like the wide receiver room and people retiring and asking for trades. And it's Pete Carroll's first game back after a couple of years, which I guess you could say the same thing about Mike Vrabel. But I think if anybody has a slightly more ready team, it's probably Vrabel, and they're at home. So I got the Patriots to kind of eke this one out.
I'm rolling with you on the Patriots there. I mean, just the Raiders. I mean, just all the notes we hit earlier in the show on that receiver room. I mean, if Amari Cooper retired last week, I'd feel a little bit better of them finding someone off the practice squad or pulling, giving that receiver room maybe some more depth. They're finding a free agent out there. But yeah, I think the Patriots. I did see Christian Gonzalez, their best secondary player. He's listed as questionable, so we'll see if he ends up playing or not. But Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, this is interesting, Jake. Like you said, it's kind of like a throwback game. Pete Carroll versus Mike Vrabel, like long tenured Titans coach versus long tenured Seahawks coach. I think that kind of evens it out. But like you said, I think the Patriots are just more prepared. They're more of a unit, a little more continuity there. Geno's first year as a Raider. Brought in Genti, which is cool, but just not running back position to me is just not going to win you games that first year. So I'm going Patriots. I'm going Drake May gets a win at home.
And not that I think the Patriots are going to have a great season. I think they'll be better than they were last year. But you got to remember they were the biggest spenders in the offseason last year. So they brought in Milton Williams on the D line from the Eagles, Carlton Davis from the Lions. They went and signed a couple of Vrabel's buddies from the Titans days: Jack Gibbons, Harold Landry, Rob Spillane. So they got a lot of new pieces on defense that they paid a lot of money for, as well as Stephon Diggs. Can't forget about him. He'll be there, and everyone's kind of other favorite rookie fantasy darling of Travion Henderson. I think there's a lot of things to like about what the Patriots are building. I'm not convinced that it's going to go like extremely well year one with Vrabel and these pieces, but I think good enough to beat a team like the Raiders at home. So yeah, but a lot of exciting new pieces for them. There's no doubt.
Will Campbell, another huge draft pick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all Michael, did you say Patriots on that one too?
Yeah, Patriots.
All right. Next one, we're looking at Cardinals and Saints. Is this the Stink Bowl matchup?
Absolutely. I can smell it from here.
You got the toddler running around in the backfield, and then you got the most incompetent franchise over on the other side in the Saints. I think it's pretty easy to go with the Cardinals here without looking too deep into it. Just offensive skill-wise, they've got the better quarterback, got the better wide receivers, probably got the better defense. Jake, I'll let you kick that one off with what you can of the Stink Bowl game.
Yeah, I think this game is going to stink. This is just not going to be any fun to watch. I just cannot think of two two worst teams right now having to just go out there and fumble over one another. I got the Cardinals winning. Vegas has them as a touchdown favorite. Sure, like if they can get that big of a lead, like good for them. But 42.5 points, I think it's the lowest total. No, lowest total we haven't got to yet, surprisingly. So not quite the lowest total, but one of them. And again, I think we talked about them a little bit whenever I was really dogging on the Cardinals, but there's good things to like about what they have. I'm not a James Conner guy. I just don't see how they can't find anyone that can replace what James Conner does for them on that offense. But he managed to go out there. Obviously, Trey McBride is a great player and really kind of stepping up. He's one of the probably top 3 tight ends. But it's the one thing everyone loves to look at. This is not like a fantasy thing, but like for winning football games, he doesn't score. He's got like 2 or 3 career touchdowns, and that can't be good for winning football games when your best offensive player isn't scoring the football. Realize you can get it elsewhere, but I think it's kind of saying something. So I am not excited to watch this game. I'm sure I'll watch some just for the laughs, but yeah, I can't imagine a worse game to be scheduled for week 1. And I will take the Cardinals, and I don't really have anything else to say about the Saints.
Michael?
We know what the Saints are. So that in default makes me pick whatever team they're playing. So this week it's the Cardinals, I guess. That's all I got. I mean, I do like Kyler Murray, actually. I don't like his team per se. And I didn't even know that about Trey McBride. I was kind of high on him just because other people were. But I believe in Marvin Harrison Jr. too. I mean, I hope they get it working. But yeah, I think they just beat them.
Yeah,
same. All right, next one.
Real quick on Trey. While we're on Trey McBride, let me see if I can find the number for 3 seasons in the NFL, 49 career games, 221 receptions, 6 touchdowns.
That's wild. 2 touchdowns a year, man. He'll score 1 this week.
He had 111 receptions last year, 2 touchdowns.
That's nuts, man. I mean, that is nuts.
I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. Yeah, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Maybe. I might not watch it.
Yeah.
We might not watch that. Okay. Steelers at Jets. Flip-flop quarterbacks over here. Justin Fields going to New York. Aaron Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got rid of George Pickens, but brought in DK Metcalf. The Jets, now Justin Fields, back with Garrett Wilson. Some continuity there. Michael, lead that one off. Interesting game.
Very interesting game. And I know, as bad as I want to say this, because Aaron Glenn put Aaron Rodgers in a box the last time they played against each other. Aaron Rodgers' last game at Green Bay. But very interesting. I don't think those guys like each other. Obviously, the trading quarterbacks thing's huge. I like Fields. I believe in the Jets. But it's just something about the Steelers. I think the defense is a little bit better than the Jets is. Is this game in New York or in Pittsburgh?
It is. It is in New York.
I think this will be a great game. I'm going to watch it. I'm just going to go Jets. I'm going to go Jets. I think the Aaron Glenn era starts out strong. And I think they get a itch out a win against a tough Steelers team.
Okay. I'll do the flip side there. I'm taking the Steelers over the Jets. Mike Tomlin, continuity at head coach. Aaron Rodgers. I still feel like we saw glimpses of Justin Fields making progressions to be better last year once he got away from Chicago. It's still not there yet. I think he's going to end up actually being really good in New York. But that Steelers front is going to be a little tough to deal with. And I do think the Steelers defense will end up being a little bit better than the Jets and making some timely plays. And I think I don't like Aaron Rodgers that much, but I mean, if he can go out there and sling it, he's got DK Metcalf. That's a pretty good wide receiver one to throw it to. So that's why I'm taking the Steelers. Jake, who you got?
Going with the Jets. I like it at home. I think it's I like the generous 2.5-point underdogs that they're giving them as at home dogs, and I think it's going to be a good game for New York. I think we're going to see a lot of improvements. I'm really positive on what the Jets are doing. Love a lot of their players on offense and defense, and Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. I'm not convinced he's going to make it through the game. He's old. I'm not. I don't understand why a team like the Steelers would sit around all offseason and wait for him to just tell them what he's going to do and just show up one day to Pittsburgh and now he's on the team. I don't understand that.
He had to go into the darkness on his ayahuasca trip and get reconfigured with life, man.
41-year-old. You're going to sit around and not have a plan for your team. You're perfectly content with rolling out Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
while you're waiting for a 41-year-old to make his decision if he wanted to play for you or not. I don't get that.
They'll still go 500. They'll be right at 500.
I'm not convinced. I think I feel bad for Rodgers. I think he's just going to end up ruining his legacy more and more. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's not like he did anything impressive. I mean, he was only in New York for like the one full season, right? After the Achilles,
he tore his Achilles like two minutes into the game.
So no, I think New York gets their quote unquote revenge against Rodgers. I don't think it's gonna be some sweet reunion where he comes back to New York and proves that he's still got it. I think there's a reason that he's not in New York anymore because he doesn't still got it. So that's how I view it. And the Steelers, I don't, DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin, who you're going to see out there, doesn't really do it for me. And I believe they cut WKU alumni Beanie Bishop. So
who?
I don't really rock with that. Bad decision.
Yeah, he had like an interception and a fumble recovery, and
yeah, he was cold. He might be on the practice squad, but I don't think he made the 53. So their loss.
All right, a little
Jets
bit.
It is.
Jets it is. I'm kind of rethinking that. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna stick with my gut mainly because I already parlayed it, so I don't really want to change it. Moving on, Giants at Commanders. I'm still trying to figure out which game has the lowest point total. It's not this one, is it?
This one was. As far as I can tell, this total is 37.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So We'll see. I don't really know what that's based off of, but both those teams I think can score points.
I mean,
the Jets can. I mean, I like between Breece Hall and Fields. Like I think it's a completely new offense that we've seen out of the Jets. I think Fields can put up points, and we forget that it's a revenge game for Fields too, and I think he's going to be the one to kind of come out on top. I don't know if we forgot. I forgot that it's a revenge game for Fields.
It is.
So
yeah.
They should have kept playing him last year.
I agree.
All right. Next one. Giants at Commanders. Giants are starting Russell Wilson. We get to see Jaden Daniels come out for season number 2, see if he can replicate what he did last year and build off of that. Jake, what you got on this one?
Which one?
Giants and Commanders.
The winner I have is the Commanders. I just think that they're poised to come out pretty hot to start the year. This is one of the one of the league's hottest teams, and I think they're gonna prove it right off the bat with their shiny new weapons of Deebo Samuel and and recently extended Terry McLaurin and Bill Krosky-Merritt. I'm excited to see what the offense is going to do. And
Isn't he still the fourth string back?
Nah, he's going to be out there, but we'll see. I don't know. But no, I think the Commanders are going to come out hot. I think they're going to obviously handle a lot of the business in that division, and it's going to start with this first matchup against the Giants, who, I understand the decision to probably roll out Russell Wilson first. And while I really like Malik Neighbors, I think he's going to pick up where he left off and control a lot of the targets and have a really great year. I still think that the Commanders are going to have the all-around better team in this matchup.
I'm kind of with you there. I don't really feel like there's any hope that the Giants are going to win. So, Michael, what do you think?
I do like what the Giants are building. I didn't love the Dart pick, to be honest, but I like Abdul Carter across from Kayvon Thibodeau. I like Malik Neighbors, obviously, great. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. Honestly, I think he should get a little more PT. He's good, a little slot receiver. But kind of like Jake said, I just think the Commanders are better. I just think that, they proved it last year. They win football games. It's a division game. They'll come out ready to play. I think they'll win.
Right. Next one, Jake, one you'll have interest in, Titans at Broncos. I wish I could pick your Titans, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going Broncos. What is their first thoughts on this one from the Nashville man himself?
Yeah, I would say the Broncos is a pretty comfortable pick. No surprises, 8.5-point favorites. That is the better team on the field. The defense is just too good for a rookie quarterback to come out and win outright. I mean, this is a playoff team, right? Like, this is a team that's been to the playoffs, projected to go back to the playoffs. Very experienced head coach, and a lot of good pieces, pretty much all around. I can completely understand the 8.5 points, but I'm excited to see what this new Titans looks like. I think Jeff Simmons is in some great shape. He looks like he's really set up to have a really strong year. The defense is new. I mean, there's going to be a lot of new pieces. L'Jarius Sneed is scheduled to be available week 1, so I think that's going to be big. And then being able to stop, Cortland Sutton and take some options away from what Bo Nix can do. And then, I think a lot of it's going to kind of come down to what the linebackers can do. It's all new linebackers, and a lot of them are young. So if they can make plays and they can get Denver off the field, then we got a chance. I don't expect the Titans. I don't expect it to be very high scoring because of how good their defense is. I think we talked about it the other day. They only, last year they only gave up about 18 points, and the Titans have scored over 30 like once or twice in the past 3 years. So I really would like to see just some points out of the Titans. I don't need to see a win. I would just like to see some good, promising play out of Cam Ward and just some points. I think I said before, if you can only put up 17, 20 points against an NFL team, it's just not good enough. Like, I'd like to see a couple, they need to be able to finish a couple drives, get, 3 or 4 touchdowns at least. And I know that's asking a lot against a good defense, but even if it's garbage time, I think they need to show that they can finish drives and put up some points. So,
yeah, definitely. Michael, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Broncos looked great last year. Bo Nix looks good. Sean Payton, low-key back. So I got the Broncos winning this one. But like Jake said, I think it'd be cool for the Titans to kind of find an identity a little bit. I'm just curious to see who Cam Ward will be throwing the ball to. He's got a couple veteran guys in there. Talking Lockett's great. he's not 41, but he's 35 maybe or something. But no, I think Broncos will win, but it'll be cool to see how Cam Ward does. It's a real test for Week 1 for sure.
Gotcha. I'll go on Broncos there. Next one, 49ers at Seahawks. Michael, we dogged the Seahawks in episode 1. Jake kind of threw us for a loop with his analysis of the Seahawks. What do you think is going to happen in this one? Because, I mean, we got Brock Purdy,
the
paid 49er. So
I shouldn't have dogged him that hard. Looking at like what Darnold did with the Vikings last year was impressive, and if he can replicate that, even 80% of that, I mean, it'd be a win for them. Smith and Jigba, great, and really it's the defense that's been really impressive. It's young Witherspoon, who I wanted to be a Lion coming out of Illinois, great corner. They have the tackle they drafted, I think, last year. So I got the Seahawks, not because I'm completely flipping on them. I think they're going to be really good or anything, but I really don't think the Niners are any good. I think they're really on the downfall. Maybe was it Joanne Jennings and Purcell as their top 2 receivers? Yeah. You got Kittle, he's Kittle. I mean, he's good, but
he's getting up there though. He's getting up there.
Again, yeah, he's getting up there. I guess they'll play McCaffrey. McCaffrey will be back. We'll see, how good he is, but he's also really getting up there. Yeah, Ward left. He's a Travarius Ward. He's on.
Nor did he.
Colts. Yeah. So he's a Colt now. I think they lost a little bit of defensive firepower. I like the Seahawks to win this one. Darnold just to come out and have a Darnold type day, solid. Set at home too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Seahawks.
All right. I picked the 49ers just because I didn't really trust Sam Darnold. Didn't trust him last year, even though he was like 14-3 in the regular season. So that's it. I got Jake. Who you rolling with the Seahawks?
I am rolling with the Seahawks. I'm very intrigued by this line. They got the Seahawks as home underdogs, 2.5 points, which I love. I would take that all day because I think the Seahawks are going to come out and prove a lot of folks wrong for everything we just talked about. I think their defense is really strong. It's going to take advantage of some of this weakened 49ers offense. And, if they can take away McCaffrey, I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for the Seahawks. Because on the other side, the 49ers have a very young defense. I think that pretty young front, a couple of young DBs now, a couple of new faces in the secondary. And, I think it's going to come down to the trenches, though. The Seahawks also have a pretty young offensive line. I know they're starting their first-round rookie at guard. So I think if whoever can kind of match up the best up front will win that game. But I really like what the Seahawks are working with on offense between Kupp, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. And like I said, I think Darnold's capable of pulling out some big games. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
Gotcha. Maybe I'll be eating my words on the Seahawks after this week. There's a couple games after listening to you all, I'm kind of like, man, I maybe should have gone the other way. Not gonna lie. Next one, Lions at Packers. Michael, take it away. What's gonna happen?
They just don't believe in us, man. And I love it. This is where we thrive, You get used to, eating all your good fettuccine 5-star meal. You're the darling of the league. You're America's team. I think we forgot what it's like when all you had was moldy bread and expired rice. And that's exactly where we want to be. Going into Lambeau week 1 with 2 new coordinators. Ragnow retired. But we're still the Lions. It's still Dan Campbell's team. We're a gritty team. Campbell owns LaFleur. He owns them. I'm just not sold on the Packers either, really. Like I said, they're soft in the middle. That's where we live in the middle. Montgomery, Gibbs, I think have a day, run the ball. If they keep Goff protected, I think we win this one and shut a lot of people up. I think it'll be close. It'll be a great game, obviously. Crazy game for week 1. But I think we win it, and people realize that the Lions are here to stay.
Okay, going out biting kneecaps. I've got the Packers at home. Jake, what about you?
I'm in the same boat. I just like the Packers. I think I like.
I like Love. I like Jacob.
It's going to be a shootout either way. I think it's. I don't know if I have a particular reason that gives the Packers the edge. Maybe because it's at Lambeau. But yeah, I think that would be my pick. But I don't know what's the.
I'm excited to see what Matthew Golden does as wide receiver 1, the rookie for the Packers. So
they have 4 wide receiver 2s. They don't even have a wide receiver 1. They have like Watson, Dobbs, and this Golden kid out of Texas. Like
Watson is out with an injury. Shocker there. Dude's been injured like 10 years. Jaden Reed, he came on last year. He was pretty solid. And Romeo Dobbs. And then you got Tucker Kraft. I mean, it's not a walk in the park.
Like, we're talking about Tucker Kraft right now.
Take the glasses off, dude.
I know. It's not even me being a Lions fan as much as like the Packers. As much as people make fun of the Cowboys for being like that team that everyone's like, oh, it's our year. The Packers have been that for the past, even in Rodgers' later years. Like there's some media bias to the Packers. I'm just not buying into. I'm not buying into it, man.
Okay. Next, all right, we're down to 3 games left. Texans at Rams. Thing is, this is another good game. I mean, we got some really good 4:00 games going on this week. You'll see C.J. Stroud. Joe Mixon's still out first 4 weeks. Nick Chubb starting week 1 as the Texans leading back. Then on the flip side, you got Matt Stafford coming back. He's still got Puka. I think Kyron Williams, the running back. It's at LA. I think Houston will pull it out. I think we'll see C.J. Stroud come out strong. I think he had more of a quiet year last year than anything. Not really down. I would just say quiet, a little bit less than what he had previously. But Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I got the Texans. I think it's going to be like a real gritty game that DeMeco Ryans and that team will sneak out. I think their defense is really strong. But so is the Rams. I do think it's going to be a bit of a grind for Stroud going up against their pass rush with a kind of a weaker offensive line than he may be used to. So I think it's going to be a lot of defense in this one. But I have the Texans being able to sneak this one out, making a couple bigger plays than the Rams to get the win.
Michael?
This will be a really good game for sure. I'm excited to watch this one. The Texans O-line worries me. I'm not completely sold on the Rams. Obviously, that Jared Verse leading that rush is very impressive. We saw, I mean, they fought with the Eagles last year in the playoffs. That's the last time I remember watching them being like, Rams are better than, I think I give them credit for. But yeah, kind of like what Jake said, I just think there's a little X factors. I think Nico Collins busts up for a 60-yard touchdown or something, and they just pull away and win.
All right. Let's see here. Last one for the Sunday slate, and probably could be the best game of the weekend. Ravens at Bills. 2 MVP favorites at quarterback, both pretty much returning their full offensive slates. Let's see Michael, let's go. Who you got?
This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. If it was 2 months from now, I would feel very confident in the Bills winning a close one. But I just think the Ravens win. I just think the defense. I think their Ravens secondary is better than the Bills receiving core right now. I mean, you can't sack Josh Allen, so I'm not even going to factor in the pass rush, even though their pass rush is good and they have great linebacker play. I just think the defense, I think that's what it is. It's going to be the Bills' offense versus the Ravens' defense. The Bills have a solid defense. We know what the Ravens can do. Both teams will score points, but I just think Ravens get one more stop and just pull this one out in Buffalo.
Jake, what do you think?
I like the Ravens for week 1. I just think it's the Bills are going to have a little bit of fatigue coming off a really, really hyped off season between the unfortunate championship loss, Josh Allen's MVP, Hard Knocks. I think there's just going to be a little bit of a kind of Bills fatigue, kind of off-season fatigue of kind of the hype around the Bills, and just seems like one of those gritty games where the Ravens are going to come out on top and trigger the Bills to go on a run through the rest of the season and rattle off some nice wins. But what a fun game to start the season off with for Sunday Night Football. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I think that the Bills are kind of in a position where they're going to be that team that's just going to need to gel over the course of the year. And the Ravens are just the Ravens always seem like they're primed to start hot. They seem very cohesive, always right off the jump with that team and everything. But I think the Bills are still my Super Bowl pick. But I think we're going to see some growing pains or just some things that need to be worked out on defense, especially against a team like the Ravens and containing Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I went with the Bills at home. I think, it's the final season in Highmark Stadium. I think the Bills are going to come in pretty high and ready to go. Kind of looking at this Ravens defense, just starting in the secondary, Marlon Humphrey, Jair Alexander, Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Van Noy with Mike Green backing him up. That dude's a monster out of Marshall. Then you have Rokon. I mean, that defense is actually pretty good. That defense is legit. This is going to be a fantastic game. Honestly, I would bill it more as a toss-up than anything. You could flip a coin. I think either of these teams could win. But I took the Bills at home.
In my head, Jordan, it's like, that opener we watched last year at B-Dubs, the Chiefs-Ravens.
Yeah.
It came down to that final play. I think it'll come down to that final drive. But if I had to pick a defense to stop the other team's offense, I would pick the Ravens.
Yeah. So I think I need to do a little bit more research next week.
Now
I'm sitting here looking at depth charts and
all the
stuff.
research you need here. Just go with your heart, man.
So stick with the Bills. And then we got a stinker of a Monday night game, Vikings at Bears. Who wants to watch J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams go at it? I mean,
this is the fruit bowl. Monday night.
A fruitcake bowl?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think it'll be a good game.
It'll be cool. I think to me, it's like this is Caleb Williams' real rookie year. Eberflus was just forgettable. Half the time we're on TV, you put him in Ben Johnson's offense, Adunze, Keenan Allen's gone, Luther Burden, DJ Moore. I'm excited.
You can put him in Ben Johnson's offense, but is he going to be able to live up and do like you?
That's what's going to be cool to see.
Is he going to be able to implement that offense with him?
That's the thing. That's what I think. That's going to be fun to watch, though. That's what I'm saying. Is last year we knew what was going to happen. I mean, they had Osama bin Laden, that coach. They were going to be bad. They were going to lose. This year, they have a chance. This is the year we get to see, is he legit or not. Yeah. But I got the Bears left.
Bears? Okay.
Yeah, Bears for me as well. I love their secondary. They got one of my favorite secondaries in the league. I think Jalen Johnson is very good. Jaquan Brisker's fun. They got former Titan, mayor of Murfreesboro, Kevin Byard, who's just solid no matter what you do, throwing him out there, he's going to be solid. No, I'm just excited to see maybe some life from the Chicago Bears. I think that's, I'm kind of rooting for that. It's kind of hopeful just to see them improve in any capacity. So I think it'll be a fun game, though. I think it's going to be two teams that are going to look a lot different. Bears because of Ben Johnson in the offense, and the Vikings because of JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, because this is JJ's rookie year now. Coming off that blown up knee. I mean, I took the Vikings. With the Bears, I got to see it to really kind of believe that it's happening. I mean, it looks like they added Jonathan Grenard. Was he still on the Texans last year? Did Grenard go up there this year?
No, last year was his first year with the Vikings.
Gotcha.
Or thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there was a reason that the Vikings were, 14, 15 games last season, and it wasn't all from Sam Darnold. So that defense is probably still going to be pretty good. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Jalen Naylor, TJ Hawkinson. JJ's got guys to throw to.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the big surprising thing for me was Brian Flores staying as their DC. I know that whole Dolphins situation went down with Tua, and I think it put a stain on him, but he is a good coordinator. Because last year they had a great defense, and they really didn't have a lot of playmakers.
Yeah.
So, like you said, bringing in some more guys, I mean, Flores could do some damage for sure.
Yeah. And I think the longer we get away from Flores being in Miami, the less, and what we see Tua is, I think you see that stain's going to kind of wash away a little bit.
Exactly.
So, and that's the end of week 1 picks. So last segment, looking at, let's see here. What was our question of the week?
Hey, I got to go here.
You gotta go?
Yeah.
Okay.
See you, Jake.
So,
tighten up.
Yep.
That's right. Tighten up. We'll talk to y'all.
All right.
Good luck.
Jake.
Yes, sir.
Michael, go to you. Question of the week real quick. Which team has the most to prove this week? As in, who needs a statement win the most?
I might have a couple answers to this. So I'm going to go with the teams that spent a lot and really made splashes. Packers, in my opinion, have the most to prove. They're facing the 2-time NFC North defending champions, and they obviously made a huge splash with paying for Micah Parsons, drafting Matthew Golden. So kind of to back up their own, stuff that they've been talking, I think they have a lot to prove. And then the ones to prove the doubters wrong, I think Bengals. I think because of the way the last 2 seasons have went out the gate, losing to the Patriots. I don't know who they lost to a couple years ago, but I know they're, not only that, but going 0-3. So I think the Bengals come out hot and really, put it to the Browns and show what that offense is capable of, and that the defense, has a spine at least. I think that could, propel them into the upper echelon of conversations.
Yeah, I'm glad you threw out the Bengals out there because I feel like I'm always homering my picks, but I think that is like, you all offseason, it's will the Bengals start slow again?
Yeah.
It's like if you didn't lose to the Patriots or blow it against the Commanders last year, you were safely in the playoffs. And that was in weeks 1 and 3 that you did that.
Yeah.
So I think not really the most to prove, but the best opportunity to shut up all the pundits on ESPN goes to the Bengals if they come out and just win by 14-17.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. And I think that's it, brother.
All right. Well, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll go buy Sunday ticket, I guess, so I can watch all these games. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Streaming Sunday ticket anymore?
Yeah. I'll text you. I might have you away.
All right.
So.
All righty.
All right. Well, that's it. Sundays on the Gridiron, week 1 preview, episode 3. We're done. Jordan out.
Peace.